Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Donny Chaingang. Pretty busy at the moment because we've got lots of people just getting on the ride. The ride tonight is back up to Yorkshire, one of our favourite routes. Me to watch and some people to ride, although a fair few people are definitely going to be having a hard time because this is the Harrogate route reversed. And it's a tough route. It is a route that is a worthy route of a World Championship. It also goes the backwards way round. We do it 3 times just to make things even harder. And it is going to be hard. There's just no other word for it. It's not an easy route. There's no lack of hills. There's nowhere to regroup easily. It's a hard one to control. And Russ has decided to do one tonight. So, actually, he's got a business meeting, so we can't really take the mickey. Well, we could take the mickey out of him a lot, but maybe save that for later on. Rumours of he's scared of the hills are not true. He has actually done this route at least once. Probably why he's not here tonight. However, we have somebody who literally wrote the book about climbing hills in Yorkshire and Derbyshire, because we have with us the one and only Jimmy Allen. And I'm hoping, with a bit of luck, we can get hold of Jimmy tonight. Jimmy, of course, the rider who stands in for Russ on a regular basis. So hopefully, on the end of the line, we have the one and only Wolf. Evening, Jimmy.
Evening, Matt. How are you going?
I'm going well, mate. I'm going well. It's we've kind of all got here. The gang's about ready to roll. We've got a yellow beacon, we've got a red beacon, and we've got a hilly route to test everybody out, which makes my life a little easier because I can actually get to see everybody instead of it being a bunch sprint.
Can I just ask whose idea was this course? Because when Russ contacted me, I think it was Sunday, he says, "Can you do it?" I said, "Yeah, no problem." I didn't realise it was Harrogate, for goodness sake.
Don't blame me. I did not pick this.
Horrible.
Generally, if it's a themed week, the odds are I've probably picked it. If it's a non-themed week, the odds are it's Russ who's picked it. It kind of works that way around. That's the kind of how we it's a very sort of fluid and dynamic division of labour, let's say. But I'm definitely not going to take any responsibility for this because I actually quite literally hate this route with a passion. I will not ride it ever.com because it's horrible.
It's a tough one. It's horrible. Yeah, horrible. Yeah, it's been good. I mean, like I say, it'll be tough, but we'll look after each other, won't we? That's it. It always works out well. We'll get around.
It does. It works out, and I think this way, to be fair, it is an easier route to keep the group together. Everybody's a little bit more circumspect instead of playing silly what's-its going off the front. So it does have a little bit easier run into the hills rather than going straight out the opposite direction. However, it is going to be an entertaining one, that's for sure. We're going to head off. Any particular instructions for the group tonight, or is it going to be pretty
as always?
Get on with it.
As always, stay off the front. Don't chase the front. Stay around yellow, and most important of all, don't panic.
That'll be the one. Just you wait. I'm going to find some Daz Army theme tune for when we have people panicking on the front. It's going to happen one of these days. Blow the fact that.
Can I just say before you go, Matt? Thank you. Can I just say before you go? Thank you very much for mentioning my book. I don't like to talk about it, as all my close friends will tell you. I don't like to talk about it. I only mention it the odd occasion every day. But I do appreciate you mentioning that, and I won't ever mention it ever again. I promise. Or the fact that I rode with Jan Ulrich in Mallorca. I'll keep it quiet.
Well, you might keep it quiet, but we definitely won't because it's great reading. It's great. I always think it's really good when we see riders who live in the area, who ride in the area all the time, actually going out and putting into words just what it's like to go ride them, and you always catch a little climb, something you hadn't thought of, somewhere that you just sort of didn't never quite fit it into your route plan. And actually, you can miss out some real gems. So definitely worth a read.
And if worse comes to the worst, Matt, it's thoroughly absorbent paper, so it's always got a second use if you don't like it.
Yeah, with the floods in this cellar, we'll go with that one. That's for sure. Good luck, Jimmy. Hopefully, we'll catch up with you in one piece somewhere around the road tonight.
See you later.
So great to catch up with Jimmy on the ride. We're going to dive across into the map really quickly because we're on about 40 seconds to go, and we do like to get the group out a little ways before we jump in with them. We've got some real fast riders out as well tonight, so we'll try and get in there pretty quickly. Now, tonight's route, this is what our riders have in store. So our riders are going to be heading out and going onto the course. You can see the chevrons drop our riders in. Our riders go around the circuit in an anti-clockwise direction. We have the little loop first of all. It's relatively smooth. Then we go on to the bigger loop. We go up the reverse KOM, drop down through the bank, so then go up the opposite direction and start heading over up Pot Bank, and then down along the long section of the route to make our way down into towards the finishing line. Once again, we have 3 laps of this circuit to do, each lap 13.8k. We finish at the Harrogate lap arch, and that is just beyond where the pens are. Our riders will be down there and then have a 2.6k warm down, 720 metres of climbing. Jimmy, of course, our yellow beacon, aka the Wolf, for his sneaky tactics of letting it go at random times. And then, of course, we've got our red beacon now tonight. That's Chris Ball. Great to see Chris in action. And we're going to try and drop down into Harrogate to catch up with him along the route. Now, the profile of this, we said it was horrible. This is why it is horrible, because this is what our riders are facing. The easier section is the first little bumps out around the circuit. So the first 2 rises. Then we have the reverse KOM. That's the third of the bumps. The fourth of the bumps is the climb out towards Struggle Corner, as it's known. And that is at the end of Penny Pot Lane, familiar to everybody on the reliability rise and on the races. And then we have Pot Bank, which is the red section. And then we roll off the top of Pot Bank. We have a little dip, then another kicker before we drop back down to the start-finish line to roll round once again. You do that 3 times, so really, really tough route to get everybody in to the same point as we make our way around the circuit. So let's have a little look. Once we jumped off from our Velo viewer graphic, a big thank you to Ben and all of the team. And let's see where our riders are out on the circuit here on the Donny Chaingang live with me and Matt Payne. So our helicopter going through the Yorkshire gloom at the moment, just trying to find where the riders are. It looks like the group just about rolling around together. We're going to try and jump in maybe a little bit closer to that group. It's a little bit better weather when we get down underneath the Yorkshire smog. Of Harrogate. It's all those posh folk with their chimneys on their real fires in Harrogate. That's what it is. Or Harrogate if you're posh, or it's Harrogate if you're from Leeds or Bradford like I am. So, riders up and riding. We've got well over the 100 riders. We've not managed to put too many people off with the fact it is a big, lumpy, bumpy circuit today. So the team all out and riding, and certainly looking at the moment like it is pretty quick out there. Let's take a little bit of a jump in with our riders. Let's throw out some stuff. I'm not quite sure who we actually jumped in with. Oh, we're in with there we go. Tracy Seeley, Terminator 2.0 in the gang here today, and it is going to be really, really busy. Now, we're going to take a little bit of a run through this group. Let's drop down to our beacon. We're going to work our way back towards the beacons in here somewhere. Here we go. Jimmy Allen, this is the man charged with the duties of beacon when Russ is away. Then the Wolf gets to play, and Jimmy in the kit as the monitoring kit there. And Jimmy always going to roll round at the pace he says. He's not one for hurtling up and through the bunch. Makes for a really smooth ride, and everybody knows you're soon going to get a real tough workout out of the back. Now let's have a look. We've got Pete Drabble on the gang, just dropping towards the back of the group. I don't think we've got anybody behind Pete at the moment. Everybody jumping in with the gang, okay. And we're just going to take a little bit of a check. Looks like Xander Graham on the chain gang today. So Xander in the gang. We've got... I think this is going to be one of our new riders. This is going to be Alice Hall. Alice joining the gang as well. So Alice on the gang. Welcome, Alice. Good to have you along. Everybody knows how this works. It is all about riding behind that yellow beacon to stay with the yellow beacon until the point when he gets to say go, go, go. We've got Ben from Fellow Viewer on here. Now, Ben, of course, knows all the stats because he's the man behind those fantastic graphics. Great to have Ben, and good to see the away. Ben from Fellow Viewer. Make sure you go on there. If in doubt, you can go on for free. Don't worry. But even better, jump on, bit like the chain gang. We always say if you've got some money, you want to get the best information on the routes, then make sure you jump into the DCG gang. We give you the links to the Velo Viewer graphics, and Ben from Velo Viewer, the man behind that. You can get yourself a pro subscription and ridiculously cheap for what you get. It is an amazing tool, and it allows you to work out exactly what's coming up, where and when, and it's all due to the programming genius of this man, Ben. The team supporters of the DCG gang as well, because they do make a huge difference. And got to remember, it is all about making sure you support the people who support your sport, whether that was the team up at From Hope up at the National Trophy, or whether that is the team who support the squad's Fellow Viewer. Of course, an invaluable tool for race organisers. Andy Hawes, of course, route master of the Tour of Britain and the Women's Tour, agreeing with that as well. It's absolutely brilliant, and it's worth every single penny. I'm quite surprised it's as cheap as it is, to be brutally honest. Ben, one of the good guys of cycling. Now, Chris Ball, another of our good guys. Here we go. Just take a little bit of a look at Chris. Chris, our red beacon. Nice colour coordination here as well. Red gloves, red and black Pinarello, red and black kit, red socks, red glasses, and of course the red beacon overhead. And we're going to see just how Chris goes on. And Chris keeping the YouTube on. We'll try and keep Chris appraised of what's going on the way round. Not always the easiest thing to do, because, of course, it is all about the 100 rider limit. When we get over that 100 rider point, then we go to the point where you can't see the front, can't see the back, and vice versa. It's your 100 nearest riders geographically. As we drop down here, you can just see that group splitting. The leaders already taking the turn up on to the climb. The yellow beacon, not all that far away from our red. So it is splitting naturally, as you would expect, and it's all just about getting yourselves back to the blob ASAP. Good blobbage is the key to this. Having been spending a little bit of time on the rides at the moment, I have to say there are some really, really dodgy rides out there with some absolutely appalling behaviour. As somebody who's rather keen on the Donny Chaingang, oddly enough, I have to say absolutely apoplectic when I go ride them, because they are just absolutely shocking. The way people just treat each other is astounding. And the leaders don't help, to be honest, and plenty of occasions. On the chain gang, our riders are all really nice, just about. Those that aren't, we kick them off. It's really simple. And to be honest, we don't have to do that very often. So it's just about playing the game. As the ride leader says, generally they know what they're doing. We don't let people loose if they're not really experienced riders. So Jimmy, I'm just noticing there's some cyclocross near him on Sunday. The Yorkshire Points competition is an independent event, which is the event up at Tansley, being organised by one of our young riders, in fact, who is going to be one of our really youngest organisers. I think he's only 18. Rides for Team Sheffield. He's one of their riders, so it gives you an indication, because they're a development squad, just how young he is. So I'm hoping to see a lot of people support that, to be honest. I think the entry is open until Thursday, and that ride going to be really interesting. New venue as well, which is always good to see. And I think Andy Akers, who's regularly on the Chaingang, helping a lot with that from British Cycling and all the gang. So be interesting to see who's in there and help him make that happen. Now, just going to take a little look at who we've got in the game. Looks like Jeff Saysel in the group here, just rolling around with the Beacons. Liam Callaway is in here. Craig Genther in this group. Kieran Smith in this group. It really is a who's who in this. Looks like Chris Gale tucked in here as well. And this is all about getting up to the top as one group. So, Mr. Kerry back in with us again. Good to have you back in. I'm not sure I would be riding a disc, to be honest. Let's have a little bit of a check a little further up the gang here. I'll tail it in here. What's Mr. Mason doing out on a hilly ride in Yorkshire? That's amazing. So, Gareth Mason, a.k.a. the Fat Cyclist, he is the rider who lives on top of Box Hill, is exceptionally fast in a sprint and has a physique that makes me look super, super smooth. It's the good old days, is it? Apparently, we'll see. That's why you're riding a disc and deep rim on there. Not sure, again, my option, unless you're just trying to rip everybody to pieces on the downhill. Let's take a little bit of a look. Now, Beefy from Cycleways is in here. Beefy, of course, one of our real regulars. We're just trying to get a view of Beefy in the gang. I love the kit that Beefy always wears. He looks just like this in real life. He is indeed just like this. It is an absolute spit of him. Good to see we've got Gary in here as well. Gary Patterson in here. The team all nicely forming around. Luke Handley in here. Luke, of course, another of our regulars on the gang, just tucked in around our beacon at the moment. Looks like Mr. Potts in here. So good to have John Potts in the group. And Fletcher's in here somewhere. Where is he? Here he is. I thought we'd have Owen out today. Going for some zips. He's going for the, I think they're 854s by the look of it. So lighter version of the deeps. Generally a little bit better when you're on the climbs. Tim Cooper here, the master wizard of all things PC orientated and computer. So it looks like Gareth Mason's already swapped over to the lightweight, just not showing on screen. Don't blame me, it's probably the only lightweight thing you've got, isn't it, Mr. Mason? Not sure you could ride him in real life. He's a climber now, yeah, right. Good to see Tim on the gang here. Tim riding on the Zwift bike, on the Tron bike, Zwift Concept Mark 1, as it's officially called. Now the group's just stretching out here. Looks like there's been a little bit of a split on the front here as we drop down. The gang just out the front, hopefully just easing off the pressure. And take a little bit of a run. Now, we don't normally take a little bit of a run to the front because it encourages people to be lunatics, but every now and then it's great to go down and just give a little bit of an oi out. So let's take a little bit of a run. We can do a sneaky cheat up to the very front, just about. Let's jump in with a man who we know is going to be playing the game, Steve Ellis of Out of the Saddle. Steve, of course, organising the charity event a week of this weekend. In fact, it is for Brett, one of our riders on the DCG gang, and great to see Steve on here from Out of the Saddle. Don't forget to get onto the Facebook page. You can catch up with all the details on there. A quick heads up, guys, you are a long way. If you're around him, you're a long way away from the group behind you. You'll not find Jimmy Allen playing Silly Watson's chasing together. In fact, we do have the option. We have been known not to release it if people don't play the game. And this is a route we've come close to, if not completely refused to let the signal happen. Now, Chris just keeping hold of everybody as we just take a little bit of a look up, and you can just see the front as it goes around that corner. 100 riders up in front, just starting to compress down. So it looks like Chris and Liam, the riders, just ticking along at the back here. So Jason Stew's just having a bit of an issue off the back, but he's coming at some pace here actually. So Jason Stevens giving it a bit of a kick to get in to the top. Just a quick warning to all our riders. I don't care what you call the Abbey or where you think it is. We're not talking about it today. It's definitely a taboo subject. It is a fake render courtesy of Swift. Maybe we'll call it Kurt's Abbey this time around, just to upset people because it's not right. Yeah, look at that. Kurt's Abbey out on the left of the riders. Probably in some kind of Yorkshire kind of lookalike that you could kind of find. So you just see the team coming back in. Jason just squeezing his way back onto the back. He's going to go around the side of Luke. Hanley and Chris Ball, they're going to be the riders at the back again. And just jumping back in with Chris as Jason gets back on. Fantastic. So the gang coming up on the climb and just trying to roll together. The hills are tough stuff. It is all about getting with our yellow beacon, and good riding by him to get back on. Remember, there is lots and lots of time in the game to play silly. What's it? Just sticking with Mr. Briggs there. Just keeping a check on Carl. Carl, of course, a beacon last week, so nicely rolling. Now let's take a little bit of a check. Got Kev Brownlee in the game. Mr. Buzzard in here. Mr. Williams tucked into the group. So just going to take a little bit of a run into the middle of the pack here. And certainly shouldn't be seeing big numbers. Anybody who's this far in front. So just a quick reminder, gang, if you're not by the yellow beacon, you need to be. If you've gone round the roundabout, you're going to be onto that descent really quick. You basically need to back right off the power, because the gang at the moment stretched out over what is going to be about 45 seconds by the look of it from front to back. And that's going to accelerate up on the way around. So if you have worked hard over the top, but at the moment just going down onto that descent, please, guys, literally just don't pedal. It's real easy. Have a break, chill out, have a coffee. There's no point in being silly off the front. You just look like a mappy. That's a bucket from there. At least this weekend. So coming into Pot Bank here, and this is the nasty descent that you normally race the opposite direction on the Yorkshire road races. I've seen a fair few people not make it around these twists and turns before, as they've come around these corners. Really tough stuff up onto these climbs as you make your way up on here. Now, this is going to be a word of warning for people. if we get to the top of the climb and riders are clear with a gap between the yellow beacon and there is any gap in the riders, anyone clear of the gap at the front will be getting a formal warning, which means that they'll get suspended the next time they do it and won't be riding the chain gang. We've got more than 100 riders, to be honest, whether you remember or not. And you should know to ride on yellow. So take this as a formal warning, guys. If you are not with the yellow beacon group, i.e. there's a gap between the yellow beacon and you at the top, you're going to get a formal warning. Your access to the chain gang will be withdrawn. If you get 2 strikes, then you're out. So take this as notice that if you're off the front, if there is a gap when we get to the top of this climb between you and the yellow beacon, there will be an email heading your direction, and you won't be getting access if you repeatedly break the rules on the chain gang. Stay around yellow, nice and easy. So just about to head past farm. Our farm out on the left. You can indeed tell who is around, who's watching commentary and who isn't. This is where we love the fact that we've got multiple cameras rolling as we head up the bank up towards the top of the climb. Just in with Mr. Callaway, just sat nicely in this group. Look at this fantastic pack. Just filling the road. Not even Alan Rushworth, the old the commissaire who is once disqualified me for having the wrong pairs of socks, would get upset about people being on the wrong side of the road. No gaps at the moment. We're just taking a little bit of a run up the road. No seconds in the gaps at the moment. So looks like that's we're just going to take a little bit of a run. There's looks like there may be a second or two in front of Mr. Oliver. Coming up to the front of the climb. Oh dear. Deary, deary. Unlucky. Really unlucky. Even more unlucky. It's going to be like a massive coal. Brilliant. Love it. Oh well. Looks like Mr. Ellis is the just about the front of that yellow beacon group. Just big gaps in front of him. Good luck, guys. Could be a quiet chain gang on Tuesday. On Thursday, if we get some more. Well done, everybody sitting around yellow. You can just see this big pack all playing the game. Well done, guys. Right, Mr. Mantis sitting on the back of the group, hole in the back. Our red beacon tucked in nicely with them as well. Yeah, Mr. The gang going well at the front. This is going to be a nice quiet chain gang soon if people play that game again. It's really easy. Best thing we did put in terms of conditions. Love it. The excuses are astoundingly funny. I didn't know it was the front. Really easy. You got to be blind. I didn't know the rules at the moment. Love it. Yeah. You keep them coming. FakeExcuses.com. On the chain gang required. How many fake excuses can we have? Dog ate my instructions to ride. Didn't realise it was a Donny Chaingang I joined. There was a wolf chasing me. Yeah, love that. Excellent. Yeah, it's not difficult. Exactly. Big yellow thing. Big beacon thing. Really simple. Greg Pillsworth, sorry, I've got an e-bike. Love it. I was reading a book about Yorkshire Hills. That's the best one yet from Rich Orrell. Any more fake excuses? Anybody got any great fake excuses? It was a work gathering. Yes. Genius from Chris Canham. Loving it. Absolutely love it. The best fake excuses for being off the front and receiving a formal warning is telling people they're on their first warning. Best laugh is we don't get rescinded ever. If we're feeling mean or grumpy or I haven't had enough coffee or ice cream. We'll see. Let's have a little look. I didn't know the rules. Nobody told me the rules applied to me. It was like reading The Honey Planet New Yorker by J.R.R. There's cheese and wine in the front. Loving it. This group now concentrated on telling each other what bone excuses they can come up with rather than hurtling off the front. Absolute genius. Chain gang, which is what we love to see. Let's get the helicopter rolling up and down. So heading around this is just genius. Absolutely genius. Chris, I can giggle for you. It's 0800 number for those 0808 number. I think it was once upon a time. Let's have a little look. Mr. Forbes is in here as well. Absolutely, some brilliant stuff. Jimmy Allen, did I mention I rode with him on 312? No, really, Jimmy. I hadn't heard that one before. We've got a picture somewhere. If we're really, really smart, we can actually add in Jimmy. It is doable. Riding on a certain Mallorca 312. It is a doable thing. There we go. Just for your, just for Jimmy. Whilst he's riding along on the chain gang, on your screens right now, that's Jimmy riding on the 312, which is the Mallorca 312. Sat there looking very pleased with himself as he makes his way in and round. It's almost as used by Jimmy as is another one that Jimmy actually is very proud of. We can pop you that one up as well, which is another Jimmy favourite. If we can find it, I think it might be this one. Let's have a little check. Oh, look. Who would that be? That would be a certain Jimmy alongside Jan Ulrich there. We could just leave it there to inspire Jimmy on the way around. Seems like he's got the job of controlling the shower or something today. Most of our riders behaving themselves today, thank goodness. So there we go. Let's take that away. Jimmy Arnold for Simon Warren. Yes, Prohibition. Simon actually regular on the chain gang as well. I'd say the 100 Climbs series, infamous worldwide for just being saying how tough it is. Our riders at the moment on the way round circuit, heading down in towards Harrogate Frivolity at the moment. So the road is dropping down around, heading in towards the straight, heading down in towards Harrogate Centre. The grass rather greener than it was when we had the World Championships here. The rumours that there are still bike parts, spectators' phones and similar stuck in the mud a few layers down, and there will be an archaeological dig in a few years' time to get it out. And may not be true. Time Team already booked in to go digging, if you're old enough to remember Time Team. So the bus is formed by the look of it. We've got the gang rolling out and along. Nice bus former here. Quite a good group. I quite like to get into this. So the gang tucked in nicely together. Looks like Mr. Brownlee just squeezing into the back of the group. Come on, buddy. Time to jump in the back of the red bus and get yourself back into the gang. I think there's going to be a regroup. Mr. Brownlee saying keep going. We don't leave people behind. Why would you want to do a thing like that? So the gang are nicely out around, just running in with Luke Hanley at the moment, and just keeping an eye on here. Let's take a little bit of a run towards our yellow beacon. Jimmy Allen nicely in here, just saying not going to give in peer pressure. Definitely, if you went too hard and push yourself too much early on, just so that you could get yourself a formal warning in the email later on this week, then perhaps I'd suggest staying with the Yellow Beacon, who rides what he says he'll ride. Love to know that the Red Beacon's got beer. The boss always has beer. At the finish, for the riders who have not done this course before, is about 5k behind you. You're now into your second lap. It is the long section down through the straight, turn left by the steamroller, and it is the archway there. If you're a member of the DCG gang, it is on your members' email. So don't forget, if you're a member of the Donny Chaingang is on the email. Even the email description doesn't mean anything. I got to do you looking at the stats on the Velo Viewer and reading your time to check out the Zwift Insider, because all the details on there even give you a little bit of a profile on the way through. So Chris, our Red Beacon, just patrolling the back of that group, working well. can see, yeah, Mr. Taylor, young Mr. Taylor in here. So that is going to be smooth moves by Benjamin, just nicely tucked in with the gang. Tim Cooper, can you get 2 warning strikes the same DCG? Yes. You get an instant ban, actually. It has actually happened to one rider. They were given an instant ban. Yeah, it's what everybody likes about Jimmy. Didn't chase anybody down. Don't panic. So our leader, the Wolf, tucked in here nicely. Just rolls round, keeps that pace smooth as he comes up on to the climb. I'm loving Lee Allen. Jimmy never done a top at the front since I've known him. Yeah, smart riding. Don't bother till you get the win. On the finishing line, only place you need to go quick is at the end of the ride. Dead easy. So Chris Paul, our Red Beacon, just keeping an eye on things at the back of the group and riding well. You can just see Pete Trouble just dropping into the game. So the gang are riding well, doing much better than the team in here. I'm just taking a little bit of a check. So Mr. Stevens tucks in nicely. Alistair Cootie in here. Jimmy Flynn, Pete Drabble, Kieran Smith in here. Looks like Rich Orwell in here. Andy C. Ben in here. Looks like Thompson tucked in nicely in here. Mr. License, Mr. Allen, Mr. Morn in here. Looks like Mr. Dougherty tucked into this group. Kieran just rolling his way in as we Carl Briggs in here. Yeah. Youngster, Mr. Jones, only 15 years old. John Gale in here. Mr. Bishop in as well. John Garfer in here. Paul Mullen in the gang. Dale Williams tucked into the group at the moment. So our riders on the way up the climb. Jimmy riding along well. We're going to try and get hold of Jimmy today and just see as we make our way down this descent if the gang is all together. Jimmy's heart rate 125. He's not quite like Russ with his machine-like hearts. He's generally able to ride a little bit smoother. Let's get hold of the one and only Jimmy Allen. Jimmy, how are you doing?
Brilliant, mate. Yeah. So far, so good, isn't it? It's been splitting a bit, but it always is on this course. And I think, vast majority of people have sort of got the idea of just pedalling softly.
Yeah.
And we're 24 kilometres left, and so far, so good, I'd say, overall.
Yeah, overall, the vast majority of people are going to be having a very pleasant rest of the week. Some maybe people maybe having a wait like you do. When you go past the speed camera and you're accidentally going a little bit faster than you thought you were going, and you look guiltily down, then you spend like 10 days waiting to see if you got a ticket. I think there's going to be quite a few people in that same boat until I've reviewed the footage, because we've got it all rolling as per normal. So there could be some very, very embarrassed red faces. There could be some people who don't care. I don't know. We'll find out. It's we haven't had to do it for a while, but it's not an empty threat, and I think we'll find it could be very interesting watching that footage back, because it was a long enough rundown for people to come back together on that climb. The pop bank is brutal, isn't it? It compresses the group so much with that 15k. And have you raced on the circuit when you go the opposite direction?
Yeah, a few times actually. I won on there once on a third and fourth cat race. It was when I started racing.
Probably sent me out
support race, yeah. Yeah, I won it. It finished on the top, didn't it? So it suited me down to ground, sort of little punchy climbs and stuff. So
yeah,
so I know it quite well. Have they improved the surface yet?
I don't think they're ever going to improve that surface. I remember going down that climb, down the descent of Pot Bank once, and seeing somebody go literally straight on at the corner and over the wall. We just kept on going, oddly enough. It's always been hard. I mean, it's a bit like Penny Pot Lane, isn't it? It's just that false, flat, long drag. And fortunately, Swift didn't put that in, because that would have been horrible. It'd be like this long drag, 2-3% that doesn't look like it's uphill, but is.
Well, it always went on there, didn't it? People were sort of nervous on the climbs, and it always splits on that flat. Well, the false flat. So, interesting. A good course, though. A great course. Yeah,
an absolute Yorkshire classic, and the gang rolling together well at the moment. It is really tricky for the riders to get that power right, but it's a key skill. It was having been out on the Tour de Zwift today on a couple of rides, keeping into the group and not doing too much work, not going on the front, not splitting the group. Absolutely key.
That's it.
It's a key skill for our riders to learn, isn't it?
It is, and it does take a bit of getting used to. But at the end of the day, you just feather the accelerator, and you look at the numbers. I'm looking at 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, and you just get into a rhythm. And I don't know. Yes, I know people are maybe itching to get going, but we've got a load of people in this group who want to look after everybody, get everybody round.
Yep.
And then we've got a good old tear up at the end. Which everybody's going to get a workout, so that's the idea. That's why it's a different ride, isn't it? Otherwise, go and do a Tour de Zwift if you want to just do a 40, 50, 60-minute workout on your own.
Yeah, pretty much, or just try and hurdle through the gang and see how far to the front you can get before you get spat back out the back again, which might have happened to me earlier on today. In fact, I think it was Paul Oldham who sent me out the back when he was going up one of the climbs, oddly enough. Paul probably weighs about
nice
half he does weigh half my body weight, I reckon, so I didn't feel too bad. But we've got the group working well. There's some new riders actually in today, and they're going really, really well. It's a lot of our new riders just tucked in with the group, just been keeping a check on them as we go through. And the Red Beacon doing an amazing job today. Chris Ball just patrolling the back, checking everything, and not having to do too much today. We, of course, because the pace is regular on the with our Yellow Beacon, so it shows you, doesn't it, like Yellow and Red Beacon just together as you come round the turn in the corner by the Apprentices College.
That's brilliant, isn't it? I can see it now on screen. Brilliant. Yeah, he's right beside me. So that's brilliant, isn't it? I mean, so this course is not many. Trying to think of anything that's worse in terms of trying to keep it together. This is possibly the hardest one, either way.
Yep.
So far so good.
Yeah, Richmond's pretty tough,
true.
I think,
that's a good point. Yeah,
you do have half the circuit, which is catchable. This one, not so much, but we'll see. We're going to let you go. I've managed to keep you chatting all the way up the climb and out the other side again, so we'll keep on rolling. Well done. Good stuff, mate.
Cheers, mate. See you a bit.
Catch you soon. So great to catch up with Jimmy Allen and the group still rolling pretty well. This descent as you come up over the top, and it shows you the gaps soon open up. You can just see it splitting in front. The gap opens and the group in front don't need to be pushing that hard. It's why it pays to be attentive. It's also why whenever we're looking to see if everybody's behaving themselves, we don't look on this descent. We wait till people have had a chance to keep off the power up the climb and get back together and let the group come together. So let's get a big group up Pop Bank. Is the please, Jimmy's far more polite than I am, and just making his way in. I've got to say when I was doing the duties, it'll be it is very tough to type, ride and talk at the same time. So the gang going well. It's all about keeping squashed up with the yellow beacon. Jimmy Allen, the leader, going on to that kicker, 22% on the inside corner. It is a 1 in 4 climb, this, and it is a pretty nasty section of the road. It has to be tough, is for sure, when it's climbed this way round. I always prefer it the other way, and to be honest, every time we descended down here, I usually managed to get a couple of places or so back coming round these corners. As our riders going up, you can just see Jimmy tucked in here doing almost bang on 2.5 watts per kilo. Really tough to do on this section, of course, but plenty of space as we go up over the top for our riders to get a rabbit back together again. So the group here, Mr. Drabble, just tucked on the back of the group. You can see essentially this is the nearest 100 riders to Jimmy. Sonia Innesley getting some more cyclocross practice in by heading off a road as she's gone up and over. So looks like Mr. Abbott just squeezing in to get into the back of the gang. Mr. Thorpe doing the same here. This group just holding nicely as they come up the climb here. You can just see that gorge at the back. In real life, there aren't big cliffs around Pot Bank and a big descent around there. That's a little bit of inspired by Yorkshire scenery going on. A bit like the section at the back with what is going to be so this week Kirkstall Abbey. So that yellow beacon shining down on Jimmy Allen, and all about making sure the gang blobs up as we go over the top of this section. You'll see the top right hand side of the screen. The numbers will drop away steadily as we come up over the top of the climb. We're now coming out off the back of the climb, and we're now onto the 8% section. You can just see how quickly it stretches out as the farmer on his tractor gives us a wave coming out the side. It's far too nice for some farmers, and a real typical one. Must admit, all the farmers did pretty well when the Tour de France came to Yorkshire. They all got new sheep pens because all magically, wherever there was like 3 or 4 barriers, they disappeared. Go past about 6 months later, and guess what? They were all in people's fields, just nicely holding the sheep in. Good use of the barriers, although I'm not so sure the guys who own the barrier companies were quite so chuffed about that. But such is life. So Jimmy not just quoting 1980s band names. Get tight. I think that was tight fit, to be honest. It is about getting the group nice and closer together to make sure the gang are here. Andy Hall saying, you sure you weren't selling them, Matt? No, what blooming wasn't there to go chase around trying to find every single one of them. We had to account for all of them, sadly. Now the gang just rolling back together. We're just coming up towards the top of this section. We're going to take our camera out and you'll just see The gradient currently at 4%, and you'll see it rolls out very quickly up over the top here, and all of a sudden the riders in front will start to drift clear. So the riders coming down to the corner. It's all about trying to keep the group tight together here as the gang make their way in and down that descent. You can just see a few people just jumping in at the back behind our red beacon. The group are just distancing a few people off the back. You just can't see them because of the gaps opening up and where those 100 riders are. So it looks like the yellow beacon holding that trigger point just quite simply because the group has spread out once again. And if we know anything about the wolf, he will be very canny about making sure everybody is together. The red beacon just pushing here, got Darren Topless on here as Chris Ball just pulls these in. Looks like Drabble having no end of dropouts behind, just squeezing in at the back of this pack. So Topless tucked in there. You can just see another dropout, I think, there as he came through. Just going to take a little bit of a check back. It looks like Harth on the back of that group. And the go has gone. The go has gone. It's not the time to be tucked off the back of the group here as the trigger point is given. We'll jump in with young Tom Lindley. Tom, one of our regular riders, as Tom makes his way through the group here on that yellow trombite in the orange kit here, just starting to weave through, just goes past, I think that's going to be Mike Killingsworth there, just watching him go past that yellow beacon. Rich Orrell squeezing on at the front here. Everybody trying to get in to the pack. So this group working well here. And you can just see the gang pretty much all together. Craig Genther just squeezing on at the moment. So Genther right up on the front. Thompson and Wilson just coming up over the top. But Genther now starts to wind this up as we come in, just sitting around about that 6 watts per kilo. There's plenty of people just sitting in at steady power, but it looks like Kieran Smith very quickly going in as Lindley's trying to break this up. So Lindley are trying to break this apart at the moment and doing some serious damage. So Lindley and Smith, the two riders up on the front. Kieran Smith leading this out very quickly up to speed here now. He's got behind him Tom Lindley squeezing his way in to the back of this rider. Remember, Kieran Smith, the faster man who has got so many leading riders in on the ride. So Lindley comes up on the wheel there of Kieran Smith. You can ignore Kermit in front. He's that is a long gap, 17 seconds behind them. You can see that beacon group, the two of them have gone. They've got a long way to go though. It's going to be another lap when they hit the line. So Kieran Smith, Tom Lindley are leading riders in this group. Behind them, though, looks like they've got Ben from Velo Viewer, Craig Genton, Neil Birmingham, Rob Taylor. Looks like that gang working well Jimmy Allen in that pack, but these two with the gap at the moment to the chasing group, and it's Craig Genther who is closing that gap down. So through, this is the finish next time round, and you can just see that gap opened up now, been pulled back down. It's this man who's been doing the damage, Craig Genther, who pulled them back, and you can see the reason that it pays to stay in that pack to keep your powder dry as you come in and through. Genther, Taylor comes through now, Mason goes in, we've got Hepton in there, Kieran Smith in this group, Dale Williams in here, just sitting on the back of this pack, not expending too much energy, trying to ride. This is a smart one at the moment. So it looks like the red bus now steadily getting one rider after rider going into it. The kettle is on, as you would expect for some Yorkshire tea. As we see Ben from Velo Viewer just coming up alongside Oliver there. Jones moves his way up in towards the front here. Isaac Oliver, one of our regulars in the gang in here. Rob Varty in this group. The Wolf is in as well. So just seeing Genther in here. Jimmy Allen, though, in the man in that yellow beacon roll. So Jimmy tucked in here nicely into this group. We're working well. Just works his way in through that pack. So Lindley at the moment just putting the pressure on and stretching that group a little as they came through that section there. Rob Varty quickly onto his heels. Looks like Hepton doing the same, trying to get that gap back down again. Now Lindley just backs off. Varty goes up on to the front. Looks like Mason just squeezing on. Got lightweights on in real life, but we know he's definitely no lightweight himself, and going to be trying to balance that out. Now Varty's on the front of this group. It's a long drag up towards the sprint point. When you take that left hand turn, you can see the green glowing beacon in front, and that is where our riders are just getting on the sprint time being board. Now Williams just squeezes this group, keeps that pace high, doesn't want to drag everybody around, I don't think, into that climb. He wants to make these climbers work hard on the way through. So now Williams goes, they can't afford to give this man any ground behind. We've got a second group trying to close that gap down. So at the moment, Dale Williams leading that second group is our beacon group, just making its way around that turn. We're going to drop back, and it's going to be the group here, which is just being headed by Neil. Neil's seen the chance to get across that gap and make his way into that Lindgren. Good to see Sandy Smith back in with us as well. A member of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. Going to have Sandy back in once again, and Sandy just going up through Bergfeld now. Starting to squeeze on as he comes through that line. And the second group on the road is a pretty big group. If they get themselves together, instead of pinging it off as individual riders, they'll be in with a chance of closing down on the back of this group. You can just see it's strung out here. Lindley just tucked onto the back. We're riding in with Mason at the moment. And the moment you come round those turns, you can just see that gap opening up. So that group that was closing down just because of the way the game's working, there's a whole load of riders actually quite close to these riders, which means that the chasing group just dropping out of our camera shot. It will settle down to head out onto the big loop. We're coming down into that joining point where 4 sections of the course come together. The 2 routes going in almost opposite directions. That's our riders come down and through. So I'm going to take the group and take the corner. That's our leaders as they come down and in all together at this stage. So who is going to wind this up? Mason is nicely tucked in here at the moment. Just looks like Craig Genther being left to set the pace on the front. As on comes Oliver. Oliver's been a regular up at the front of the Chaingang recently. Still searching to take that win away. But he's just puts a little bit of a squeeze on behind. Nobody too keen to take up the running. Group number 2 really starting to form behind. And that group is just about 9 seconds back to Bergfeld. Right behind Bergfeld, you can see Bergfeld basically the driver pulling this second group up here. Potts, Andrew Watson in here, Sandy Smith's in here, Neil from the Crosscast in here, Mick Hawkins in here, Ian Bale, one of our regulars, always playing the game, so Bale back in here, and this is a big pack of riders who are going to try and get the gang together as they come up onto the heels of the riders in front. Still quite a long way up to the top of the climb, and this group in danger of becoming one big group. You can see the beacon group at the bottom of the screen, that chasing group are just behind. Remember, that gap is foreshortened by the angle, the height, and the fact that we're going up a steep climb. The climb always flattering to the riders, making it seem closer than it really is. So Kieran Smith now just starting to pick that pace up on the front of the group. He won't want it to come together either. This group holding well behind. They're trying to keep that gap down. This is the fastest section of the course on the little circuit. Kieran Smith doing a big effort here just to keep this group clear. Making it hard, making sure everybody's on the limit, making sure nobody is able to tag in too easily. Even Will Bergfeld at the moment, who's just coming up onto the back of that group, having to put out some serious numbers. Farty just a distance off the base, he's put a kick in. He gets a new personal best up that climb, but at the moment now starting to drop down, and it is Kieran Smith who's going to lead the front of the Donny Chaingang down, heading away from the top of Harrogate, and you can just see at the back of that group Dale Williams just tucked in nicely. So we're going to drop down, we go across the stream at the bottom, just levels out a little bit as you go across the roundabout. And they're going to drop back down again. Will Bergfeld, of course, a world champion and a national champion rider, sat in that white skin suit. Still got the breath to chat as he goes in and through. So Bergfeld coming across that group, taking that that climbers jersey well in the GB skin suit. Will's done lots of representing GB out on the roads out and around the circuits around the globe, and as he comes over the bridge, just making his way up to the front of that pack. So the iceberg in action. The question is, will he be the one to sink Dale Williams' Titanic as he go up onto the climb? Mason winds it up. Kick just comes in, and Williams is starting to be distanced here. This is telling, I think, at this stage. So Dale Williams now just being distanced, settles into 2.5 to 3 watts per kilo pace as the riders in front are going hard. Ben from Bellevue are having to put in some big red numbers there, trying to get on. But up at the front it is Craig Genther in that Downing Cycling Coast Riders kit, who is working his way off. Now looks like Williams distanced as they come up the climb. Genther is trying to shed. Williams is not the man you want to take the to the line, and looks like Williams suffering with the pressure of these climbs here. So looks like Mason now, his legs have gone pop as well. Mr. Buzzard's legs have gone. It is going to be really interesting to see who is left. There's Mason now. Good ride though by Gareth Mason to get that far, that's for sure. Birmingham now in trouble at the back of this pack. He's got to get onto this group. This climb, it's not that steep as you come up towards the roundabout. It eases off and Birmingham gets onto the wheel of Craig Genther, who was doing that damage. But as they come up towards the roundabout, I think it's going to be our Yellow Beacon who is sat alongside Kieran Smith pretty much. Now it eases off and it's going to drop back down. Birmingham gets onto the back of the group. It looks like that gap opening up behind Xander Graham on a bit of a mission behind. Now the youngster who's the Scottish National Cyclocross champion, he was in action at the weekend at the National Trophy, so well trying to get his way across. And Xander, one of our youngsters, signed up by the Jukebox team. Just trying to get back across, but he's really light. Xander's only about 33 kilos, which means coming up the climb, it's good. Coming down the other side, not so good. And that's where things get really tough for the youngster as they come up over the top. So looks like this group pretty much now got the road to themselves. The gap back to Buzzard, 43 seconds, 56 to Graham. It's now 36 to Lindley. It really has opened up. It's just continues at 56. Looks like Williams has gone, Varty gone. It is down to these riders on the front now. These are the guys who are going to take this out. Sprint is home, Kieran. Well, we'll see. There's some very powerful riders. There's also some lightweight riders in here. You've got Will Bergfeld. Don't discount the Wolf as we come in here. Tom Hepton, we know, absolute class act on a bike every single time. Can't discount Jones in here now. Jones, one of our young riders again, sitting in that GCN kit there, is going to be a rider who could take this out as onto the front. We now start to see the wind-up going. Tom Hepton put a kick in. Kieran's got a kick, but it is Genther who's going to lead him up here. Genther's got the gap at the moment. This, the climb of Pot Bank. It's not the final climb, but you've got a long run down on the other side. They wanted to split this down to about 4 or 5 riders. If they can get 4 or 5, then that'll be enough to stay away. You want slightly more in the front group than the back group. Looks like Jimmy Allen, the Wolf, now in trouble. Genther now starting to be distanced as we are starting to see the youngsters come to the fore. Kieran Smith in there. Remember, Kieran, of course, a National Hill Climb medalist in his younger days, now starting to wind, so he's got behind him. Jones right behind. Jones tries to get on his wheel. Smith kicks again. Jones up at 6.8 now, puts in 8.1 to get on the heels. Hepton now in trouble, I think we're going to see Hepton in trouble here. Look at that heart rate, 192 beats a minute at the moment from Hepton as Bergfeld goes off in front. Bergfeld at 158, the man's a machine. Looks like Kieran, oh no, heart rate on monitor on Kieran, that would have been very interesting indeed. Let's have a little look at Jones. Jones at 186 here. So Jones with a little bit to spare there as he just keeps that pressure on. To go over the top now, there's potentially 3, maybe 4 riders who can come together. We've got one more kicker before we do that run down to the finish. One more trigger point potentially for it to go. So behind it is going to be Jones leading. Kieran Smith in second, Will Bergfeld in third, in fourth place Tom Hepton, then Ben from Bellevue currently in fifth with Isaac Oliver in sixth, Neil Birmingham in seventh, Jimmy Allen in eighth, Craig Genther in 9, Will Buzzard in 10, Xander Graham in 11, and then it's going to be Mon, I think, in 12, Williams in 13, Oliver in 14 as they come up to the top. You can see that gap though opening up to Hepton. You can see the 3 riders in front, but 3 against 1. Definitely not a fair fight when it comes to getting the pressure on behind. It has worked, that tactic, because you can see Isaac Oliver and Ben from Fellow Viewer are on their own. Then you've got Jimmy Allen's group here of 3 riders, and it means that this group at the front, well, they've got 3 at the front, and the biggest group chasing is 3 riders behind, and that is going to make a huge difference, because it does mean that these 3 should be able to stay clear. And then now on this flat, it's a pretty false flat. It is 0 degrees climb here, but it is an absolute killer of a climb. When you get out onto the top, there is one more kicker. You can see the drop. You can just see the rise going to come up in front of these riders, and it is just going to open up. It's dead straight. Makes life really hard to get away. The riders behind you see them, and just sandwiched in the middle. Tom Hepton stuck in the middle. And then it's Ben from Fellow Viewer. What's the group doing behind him? Well, they're starting to come back together again. Craig Genther just coming across onto the wheels of Isaac Oliver. Birmingham Allen in that group. Looks like Buzzard and Graham coming together. Then Neil leading what is could be the next bunch. Just about, it's almost a bunch together as they come up that climb. But the leader at the moment, it is going to be Jones. So Callum Jones leading this out. Callum on the front of the ride with Will Bergfeld and Kieran Smith. Can Callum take this from the 2 older riders? Bergfeld, of course, the veteran of this group. Really experienced rider. Professional riding for the St. Piran team, as well as representing Great Britain. The 3 very different bike choices here as well. Interesting to see same wheels on Bergfeld and Callum Jones' bike. Kieran going for the Tron bike option, the best all-round bike now. Who's got a kick here? This is the last trigger point, but it's a long run down home from here into the finish, and I think I might be wanting to tire some people's legs up, but you don't want to drop them. So that's kind of the my sort of feelings in that attack. It wants to be a push that makes the riders work and makes their legs sore, but not going into the red here. You've got to keep the riders off behind. You can just see that next group of 3 riders, Craig Genther, Tom Hepton and Isaac Oliver. They've also got Ben from Bellevue, so it's now 4 riders together behind with Craig Genther, and if those riders get together 4 versus 3, they could start to close the gap down. You can see on the map, top right hand side of the screen, that left hand corner is going to come up. When it does, they know they are not that far off the sprint. You've got to be winding it essentially before you come into that corner. Now the chase is on behind. It's at 17 seconds at the moment to come over the top of that climb, and that should be enough. We've seen riders solo to victory here. Very difficult to do though if you haven't got some monstrous power compared to everybody else. And I think these 3 are pretty well matched here. Bergfeld doing the chase and coming across on that last lap from Group 2 to Group 1. This is the second group on the road now. So you've got Isaac Oliver in the GB kit. You've got Craig Genther leading them in that Downing Cycling kit. You've got Ben from Fellow Viewer in the pink and grey, Tom Hepton in the multicolour in the Tour de Zwift behind. Then group number 3, and this is our group with the yellow beacon with Birmingham leading it out. It's not so much a group as fractured riders as they come down. We're back in with our leaders though. We can't leave them alone too long, as here we see an attack now. So Callum Jones has gone early here and he's put an attack in, and now who is going to respond? They're both responding. It's going to be the first attack. The first volley is fired, and Callum Jones puts in a bit. He's still holding his power over 8, but you've got 2 bigger riders behind who weigh more, and they're closing him down. He didn't snap the elastic, so Salvo 1 gone. Who's going to put in the next dig? Remember, we turn at the corner, you can see, and then it is the sprint down into towards the gantry. There's time running out. There's only probably room for one more attack on the final sprint. As you go down, when you get around that corner, you are on that final sprint here. This is all about getting that turn, getting that corner right. Who's going to take this? Kieran Smith in here, the known proven sprinter. He's going to go early. He's gone early. 19.5 watts per kilo, 19.5. He's gone. He's got Bergfeld on the ropes here. The gantry's coming. Is Bergfeld going to close it? He's at 2 seconds. He's not going to do it. It is going to be Kieran Smith who takes it. Second place is going to be Will Bergfeld. And Jones coming through, rolling over the top of him there. Then behind it is going to be the sprint here between them. It's Lowe who's leading it out. Hepton's trying to roll him on the line. It's going to be so close as they come in. Oh, just. We're going to play that back. I think it was Genter, Hepton, and then from Bellevue. Then Ian Oliver. Next up is going to be Birmingham. So Birmingham on his way into the line. He's being chased here by Xander Graham. Graham is going to go for him. He doesn't quite get him here. Great riding by these riders. Then it's going to be Jimmy Allen or Yellow Beacon through, followed by Buzzard. Allen coming through. What a rip up there. That was some pace on the front. Now, Buzzard coming into the line alone. We are going to drop back very shortly to the chasing group. So as Buzzard goes through, this is our next group on the road. This is going to be a great little sprint here. Who's going to get it out of this group? It's going to hurt, that is for sure. So we're riding in with Morn. Morn has a ferocious kick on him here. Williams is on the front, starts to open it up here. Lindley kicking at 11 watts per kilo. Morn is coming though, and he's got a long range power. He can kick for a long time. I'm not sure he's going to get this though. He's coming strong in the red. Here he comes. Just about going to get this timing right. It's going to come down to the line. Morn just gets it there from Lindley. Then Sandy Smith. Welcome back, Sandy. Then Ryan William Neal from the crosscast. Phil Oliver goes in now. Here we go. Let's take a little bit of a look across. Next up, this is going to be Mantis, who's going to be on the front as he runs in. So Mantis, then Hawkins, then Coos looks at the Stellaton, putting in riders in strength in depth here. As Stellaton rider there comes, hard on the heels of Mantis, doesn't quite get him on the run in. Next up, looks like Ruddock goes through, then it's going to be Richardson. So Richardson with a plethora of jerseys on the back here. And great to see Richardson coming through strongly there. Next up, well, who's going to get this? Is it going to be where? It's going to be Dale Williams, the sprinter's going to take this behind. You can just see Bale just starting to go into the line, followed by Woodall Varty on the way through. Then it's going to be Warsdale. Looks like Mr. Dalgleish on his way. I think I actually saw him put the National Cyclocross, but it was a bit of a busy weekend. So Dalgleish going through. Then it's going to be a big sprint. That's the playback between West Singleton, Andy Singleton. Going to be, this is our beacon on Thursday. When we go to Paris, Tim Cooper through next, and it's going to be Sharp. This is going to be a real sprint in, and I think Sharp just going to get it ahead of Watson. That's Raccoon. Rich Orrell and Fiona Marshall going to be our second female rider in through the line. Dubash, Allen, Gail, Tracy comes through, so Tracy Seeley going to be third of our female riders coming in. Apologies if we missed you on the way. We just said this would split up, but it has reformed into lots of little groups. So Taylor going to come in through the line here. He's going to be ahead of Mr. Langmead here. Langmead got a solo run to the line behind him. Two riders going to be in the mix for a sprint. It's going to be between Greenway and Young here. Will it be Young? Will it be Greenway? They're going to come round this turn. Greenway's got the better bike here for this. He's got the Tron bike. And they go over that little kick there. Young is edging up on him, edging and edging here. Now Young in the grey, white and black pushes on. Greenway could get rolled here. Come in towards the line. Now Greenway sprints as he left it too late. This is going to get awfully close. Oh, it's going to come down to it. That was poker. And that is going to be a photo finish between them. Looks like Dixonville and Andy Hawes on the way in. Andy's always bound to sprint, we know, but has he got the power and the pace? He gets the roll on Dick coming into the line. So it's Andy Hawes, the Pinarello ambassador on that Dogma. Just heading in front of Dixonville. Behind it's going to be Mick Clark coming through. So we're going to drop back to our next rider. It is going to be Taylor. Taylor's going to get pipped here by Forrester, I think, coming through over the top here. So Forrester comes in through the line. Then it's going to be Taylor. Then it's going to be Garfoot. Garfoot doing a good job here. So next through Gregory. And Carl Johnson just getting that sprint from Dowtree on the way through Sonia Inslee. Super sprinter Sonia goes through fourth of our female riders there. Malin Stevens goes through. Dan Ladle going through. Next up should be Bishop. So Bishop just got the gap behind. Then it is going to be Canham. So Bishop comes in under the gantry. Then it's going to be Canham who's going to get this. Our camera just trying to get back in front of him. She's the pace and Jones, Sam Emsley, followed by Nick McDermott. Wharfdale Phil just in front of Olsworth. Olsworth's coming hard here. He's going to try and roll him on the line here. He's up at 7.8. He's absolutely pigging this. He's just going to roll him on the line. Oh, so tight. Then Bobby Mason through. Then it's going to be Hunsley, followed by Briggs and Ambler. Paul Hunsley got the gap here. So riders coming in thick and fast. Carl Briggs being chased by Ambler to the line. So Briggs goes through Ambler, almost rolling him on the line. Behind him comes Ford. So then it's going to be this next group. Is Cannon going to get it? I think. Oh, so close. Cannon gets it from Leary, then just Saysell. And it's Scott Robertson in there. Gail Phillips in the group. Gail, of course, our Red Beacon Supremo in charge of all of the Red Beacon rosters. Does an amazing job getting everybody together. We're going to get a few more riders in through the line as we see Hutton go through. It's going to be Senior going in. It's going to be followed by Kennedy. So next up will be Russ Senior, another of our now increasingly regular riders on the chain gang, just moving his way in and through. We're going to just try and get hold of Jimmy. The aim will be to drop in, I think, before we see Mr. Kennedy on his way in towards the line. So let's get Russ Senior through, and then we'll try and get back to Kennedy, Cousy and Co. So Russ Senior going to be our next rider in through underneath the gantry. So nicely done. And let's let's grab Jimmy on the phone line, which means whilst we're grabbing Jimmy, hopefully we are going to try and get back to our next riders coming in. It should be Kennedy, the next of our riders. So Kennedy's taking that left-hand turn. So Michael Kennedy on his way to the line. Hopefully Jimmy Allen able to talk on the other end of the phone. Jimmy, have you got any lungs left?
Oh, mate, that was absolutely... horrific. Horrific. I just, it's just one of them, isn't it, where, I mean, Kieran were giving it full beans and just hurting everybody. And I saw Will miss the break. Yep. Will Bergfeldt, and he just chased back, I thought. And then he's going 6 seconds, 8 seconds. And the next thing is he chased after about a third hill, he got back on. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So, timing, some great riding, but just killer. Oh.
Yep, timing was superb, wasn't it, from Will there? He got on. Did what he needed to do, then sat in the group for a little while, and then when it went, he answered it, and then he just kept his eye on Kieran. And what a ride from Callum Jones there, the youngster, only 15 years old. We know they're going to be light and they're going to be able to get the climbs, but he was putting in an attack on the run into the finish as well. And that was great to see him trying to put a dig in, trying to break clear of them on the way into that finish.
Brilliant. It's great. I mean, a bit like last week, isn't it? When you get sort of good racing tactics and people having digs and trying little things, to break away, it just makes it so much more interesting and to ride and to watch. And it's fantastic to see young lads giving it a go. Yeah, it's one of those routes where you just each top of the hill is a finish line. You treat it as a finish line, and if I get to the top of this one, I'll just sit up, and then you get there, and before you just keep going and going and going until you pop. That's exactly what happened.
And everybody does go pop. That's the one thing you can pretty much guarantee, isn't it? We've just seen Alistair Coutey of Chef Ray just come through. Someone I'm sure you know well. And Darren Topless, of course, from Pine Cycles, got Mr. Barton on his way in here, another of our regulars. These guys did an amazing rise because they've been out here a while. We're heading for that hour 30 mark, 1:24 on the clock at the moment. And it's a long time on that. What is a real sawtooth profile course?
Yeah, I mean, I pulled it about 20 kilometres left, didn't I? So,
yeah.
Oh God, that's a good old. I don't know. I tried to make a point of looking what time it was, but I forgot. But yeah, it's a good old. What must have been 25 minutes, maybe 30.
Yeah,
but a good, solid effort, solid threshold effort.
I think we'll see some new FTPs coming in from a few of the riders on the way through. We're just watching Colin McMillan, Jim Flynn and Chris Ball on the way through, and our Red Beaker's doing an amazing job. Really good to see Chris in here. I mean, he's a rider who's been on the Chaingang a while now. He knows the score, how to ride it, and bringing this group in. He's been working hard all night long, hasn't he?
Yeah, great job from Chris. And I would just before the go, I was watching on the screen because he was just off the back with a couple of the rides trying to bring him back, and I wanted to go just because it was nice and tight and blob, so I just had to go. So apologies to Chris, but yeah, great job. And thanks. Another thing, thanks to everybody else as well, because it is a tough course getting. Like I said, people just helped out, and it worked out pretty well. And again, thanks to you, Matt. Great control from your end as well. Thanks.
Well, it does require a little bit of teamwork both ends. I have to say, it's having the beakers makes my life a lot easier. And of course, if we can keep the information coming for everybody, then it's important. Just seeing Chris Ball, just saying don't worry about it, Jimmy. As they come in towards the line, so it is going to be Colin McMillan in the front, I think, who's got the sprint here. He's got Jim Flynn behind him. You can't relax actually when Jim is about, because Jim is going to come for it. Is he going to roll him?
He's gone. He's gone.
He could get him. He's gone. Oh, look at that. Just on the line. So Jim Flynn with the final kick. So tight in there. Brilliant to see them sprinting, and well done to
Brilliant.
Chris. Thanks for standing in as always, and great communication. And I wouldn't want to play poker against you. You're definitely far too good at just hanging back and not showing your hand. It has to be said. And of course, we go to Paris. We're on the Champs-Élysées.
Shops.
Our favourites as we go on Thursday. Again, another tough course, surprisingly tough to hold together with 6 laps of that. But you get to play, which is always good fun.
Exactly. The lad James Forbes, who just joined gang, one of my friends, and I was saying to him about Champs-Élysées. It surprisingly splits on that descent, doesn't it? So saying you've got to be on the wheels on that. Otherwise, you're gone.
Yep, once you come around the basically over the top of the sprint line and onto the flat section around the Arc de Triomphe, you've got that basically effectively like a big gyratory, a big roundabout. And on there, if the gap's open there, you won't get back once they go onto the descent. And it really is all about the back squeezing the front, backing off the pace there until the go, of course, in which case that's when you've really got to go for it. But going to be good fun, and we'll watch what happens when the wolf is let off his leash. So cheers, Jimmy. We'll catch up with you soon.
Cheers, mate. See you later.
So great to catch up with Jimmy Allen as Chris makes his way towards that blue banner and that warm down. Thank you very much for watching. We have had an entertaining chain game. We've had a lot of people playing the game, which is great to see. Had so many people really working hard tonight to stay with their group, chasing the gaps down. Don't forget, if you're off the front, you're going to have a nervous wait. There are going to be 2 instant bans going out tonight. I'll give that out now. And they will be going out straight away, and they won't be back on Thursday. The rest of you, well, you're going to have a nervous wait. Remember, stay round yellow. Follow the instructions of the ride leader. The Donny Chaingang ain't easy, but it's there for everybody. And that go is the point when you get to go play and do what you want. So remember, the Wolf now are going to be able to play after that go on Thursday. Russ the Bear is back. He's been watching, so good luck on Thursday from me, Matt Payne. I'll catch you for the next Donny Chaingang live on the Down in Cycling YouTube channel.